Alright, it's power steering time. So picked up a power steering box, 4-bolt box and reservoir from the Land Rover joint down the road from me, and now it's time to clean it up and fit it off in the car.
I can't believe what I'm hearing, seeing a smile like yours. Oh, you make the light shine a little brighter when you're pulling off those boots.
So we got the first seal out, had to pull this bad boy out. Took a little bit longer than we thought. You've got your dust seal on top, circlip, your metal ring, and then your actual main seal sits underneath. It was actually a pain in the ass to get out. Time to put the new one in. Alright, so that's the main seal in now. So that's in there nice and tight. I put a little bit of electrical tape just around the splines, so when I slid the seal over the splines it didn't actually damage the inside of the new seal. So a bit of electrical tape, it's nice and thin, it helps you get the job done. But yeah, now just got to put on the other backing ring, and then the circlip, and then the dust seal, and then that one's done, and then move on to this little one. Second last thing to go in is the circlip. We'll pop that in nice and tight, make sure it snaps into place, and then we'll put the dust seal on and then move on to the other shaft. Right, and the second seal's in. If anyone's wondering which way that secondary seal fits, it's lip side facing towards you, same with the dust seal. Yep, took me a while to find it, thanks. Alright, I'm now just in the process of unbolting the old non-power steering steering box and yeah, bolting the new one, so see how we go. And don't forget, throughout your process, your new best friend will probably become WD-40, so get yourself a can of this and get spraying. So there's just a flap here covering one of the linkages. Just unbolt it from under the wheel arch, and it will just flip up like so. You can then unbolt your little swivel pinion there, and then get under the car and unbolt the other bits, and it should pop right out. So next step is to start unbolting some of the bolts. My aim is to leave the actual steering arm itself connected. See if I can slide it off this spline here. So see if I can unbolt this last, lift it up and slide off the spline, maybe with a little bit of heat. And if we're all good, then we'll slide the new one in. But if that fails, I'll just unbolt this arm here, and then yeah, then pull it off from the bench and then reassemble it. Well, let's see how we go. There you go, you just unbolt the 4 bolts from inside the wheel arch. I did have to cut around one a little bit with a panel saw, which then broke. That's why it's a bit crooked, and then angle grinder for the other one. But yeah, get in there, pop them out, and then the whole box should just fall out. Right, there you go, it's out. So I did have to MacGyver my rattle gun to get it to work nicely. But don't forget to grab a screwdriver to tap into those splines. You just spread the splines apart a little bit, and it'll make it slide out nice and easy. Don't need a rattle gun, but yeah, a few bits and pieces there. So inside your steering linkage here, just on this thread here, there's a split pin that goes through the nut to stop it from coming undone. So yeah, just bend that split pin back, pull it out, and then it just lifts off, and this is all attached to your steering box. Then it all just pops out and you can transfer it to the new one. Yep, out with the old, and we're going to put the new one in. So this linkage will come off here, then reattach to this bad boy, and that's it. Then she's good to go in. We'll get the power steering pump in there as well, and then get some hoses made up, and away we go. So out with the old and in with the new. So it turns out it's a bit of a struggle to get in from the top. I removed the radiator hose. There's now coolant everywhere. Yeah, you can probably get it in from underneath, but I was just struggling to lift it up with my dodgy wrist, so I thought I'd just keep persisting, try and get it in from the top. We're nearly there. It's just like, you know, a little bit holding it back. Come on. So close. Well, it's in, it's finally in. The power steering box is in. I've still got to install the pump, and then yeah, get some plumbing and stuff done. So we'll see how we go. It took a bit longer than expected, a lot longer. Alright, so that there is the new pump. So these are the bolts you'll be undoing. There's 3, one on the other side as well. So that's the new pump that I've bolted in. But that backing plate just sits in against there. You can grab a soft rubber mallet to give it a tap and try and tap the plate off. You'll probably struggle a little bit trying to get it off. So then you can actually just tap a screwdriver, a small thin screwdriver in there to wedge it out, and then just wedge it out evenly on both sides. And then from the top, don't worry too much about if you get a little bit of damage to the housing or anything like that. It's not too big a deal because obviously the new pump actually seals on that O-ring and stuff like that. As long as it can still pull flat and evenly in, we're still pretty good to go. That's the main plate there, so it just sits in a little O-ring. So you'll notice on your pump as well that your pump has a similar O-ring. So just make sure the O-ring is still pliable and soft. Put a little bit of oil around it before you install the pump, and then bolt the 3 bolts back in. Then your pump's in, ready to go. Alright, so these two are the original fittings and pipes that came off the 4-bolt power steering box that came off the other Land Rover. The smaller one here is your pressure line, so it's the line that comes from the pump to the box, and then this is your return line here. So what I ended up doing was save me a little bit of time. I just got the guys down at NZ to do a lovely little braze. So they brazed the new fitting on here to adapt to this bad boy here. So that screws into there, and then that will be crimped onto my new hydraulic line, which will, the other end will have a crimp on it as well, which then screws onto the power steering pump. So yeah, saved me dragging out the Oxy kit out of the garage. It only cost an extra like $10 for them to braze it, so going to braze it on there and away we go. Alright, so we're all good. So I've got the reservoir mounted up, power steering pump in there, and also the power steering box. I've plumbed up the main pressure hydraulic line, and now I'm just going to plumb up some return lines and stuff like that, and we should be good to rock and roll. So I've mounted the reservoir there. I just put a nutsert in here and done it up nice and tight. I might have to make another little bracket just in case it moves or swivels down or comes loose. So that's it, nutsert in there, and then just got to run a couple of lines from the bottom here down to the box, and then also down the pump. So hydraulic lines fitted in there nice and tight. So that there is the new hydraulic line fitted in there. It's a nice little short one. It just tucks up the back, and yeah, it's in there. Alright, just doing the last couple of bits and pieces. This pipe here, I just put a little 90-degree bend in there just so it will link up to this hose here. Just used a set of pipe benders like so, nice and easy. If you've got a set of these, you can pick them up. Pick them up for, I don't know, like $20 or something. So yeah, pipe benders. So that's it, all done. Got the power steering pump in, the power steering box in, fluids all topped up and ready to rock and roll. So yeah, and don't get conned into paying $1 million for some power steering fluid. Just get some Auto Trans fluid. The Auto Trans fluid is exactly the same, and you get 3 times the amount for the price. So yeah, she's working beautifully, steering nicely, a little bit light on steering, so might have to put a restrictor in there to give it a bit of feel, but yeah, works well. Also, if there's anything you guys want to see or any work you want to do or want to get done and want me to do it first, let me know and I'll do it. Also, the Land Rover seat here, which will work well with the 3rd seat. If anyone wants it, they can have it for like $200, it's up to them. But yeah, whatever, I want to get rid of it, don't want it anymore.